takeaways from today's webinar: summer camp horror stories, summer camp flowcharts, summer camp itineraries, summer camp secrets. These are the 4 takeaways that I want you to get from today's webinar. So I apologize about that sound check. I think we're okay now. I was talking for about 15 minutes, and that stinks. Anyway, so those are our 4 takeaways we're going to go over. Let's go right into it. So the first is a Sensei Nick tip, and I have down here the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right. What I want you to explain, and what I explain to my staff, is that when it comes to running summer camps, like, I don't want to just hear the good stuff. Everything was great. Everything was great. Oh yeah, everybody had a great time. I want to know the bad, and I want to know the ugly. What is the bad? What is the ugly? 2 children got into a fight. One of them got injured. Someone broke their arm. There was we were driving. We got into a car accident. Whatever those challenges are, make sure your staff knows that you want to know. Okay, the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right, you don't want to find out later, and I'm going to explain to you in a couple stories why. So takeaway number 1, horror stories. Let's start with this first. Horror stories about running summer camps. So these are 2 things that happened to me that I want you to understand, and hopefully they will not happen to you. Okay, so the first story I want to go over was last year we were doing summer camp, and we have zones. We have video game zones, reading zones, all these different types of areas where children are able to go in, and there's different activities they can choose from. Usually we only do 2. Well, one of our zones was a video game. And one of our instructors decided to play a video game called Do So. Or I think it might be, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Is that right, Joe? Did you ever hear of a video game called Do So? No? Yes, yeah, exactly. Day Sex. So the video game was mature rated, and my instructor decided, without getting it approved and without my head instructor, being on top of it, one of our junior instructors, he was old, he was actually 21, started playing this video game with the children. The children went home and told their parents, like, Mom, we're at Sensei so-and-so, we were playing this video game, we were killing people, and someone was getting raped, and this guy got his head cut off, and all this stuff. So, I don't play video games. I'm not an advocate of them. I think they're stupid. I think they're a waste of time, but, to each his own. So what happened was, I came into the school, and a mother, I was walking by, she goes, I'm sorry, it was the father. He says, Sensei Nick, do you have a second? I said, sure. And he's like, I said, what's up? And he's like, I think we need to go in the office. Well, whenever I hear that, I know I'm in trouble. I know that whenever somebody wants to go in the office, talk to me in private, it's either a cancellation or something bad with one of my instructors. And I'm sure you've been in the same situation. So anyway, what happened was the father explained to me about the mother that told him that we were playing video games that were pornographic, and that there was sexual content. And I was just, I was very surprised. I didn't know anything about the game. I told him I would handle it, and he was very cool at first. Okay, remember the key words there, at first. So anyway, I went back and I did my research. I talked to my instructor, and then the next day the mother came in, and she had said, "What are you going to do about this?" And I said, "Okay, well, we've addressed Sensei, and we're very sorry that we were playing that mature video game. It will never happen again." She goes, "No, that's not good enough." She goes, "I want to press charges on this instructor." And I said, "Press charges on the instructor for playing a video game?" I said, I think that might be a little bit extreme. Well, and I was really careful about how I spoke to her. Long story short, she went to the police station. She tried to press charges. They would not press charges, okay, over this video game. So it was a big mess, all right, and it was not very good. It was not really good at all. And we lost 2 students out of it. And then we had to refund her the money for the summer camp. It was a big stress and aggravation, and hopefully my head instructor learns from that you cannot have people running camps without you there. It's just not, it's not really smart, and these are the types of things that can happen. So the second story I want to tell you about was, again, I was not at my school, and this might sound crazy, but we actually had a student walk out the front door when camp was over and went to her mother's work. Okay, walked about 4 blocks to her mother's work, unsupervised. Yes, these are 2 horror stories that I want you to be aware of, because it will and can happen. I lost students from the first one. The second one, amazingly, the girl continued on, went to her black belt. They never did anything about it, and it was just a bad situation. It could have been so ugly. If anything could have happened to this girl, those are 2 horror stories that I want you to be aware of. So again, I lost 3 students. I refunded the camp tuition. One instructor cost me $4,000. 3 students at a minimum okay, of 1,500 hours a year, and then plus I had to refund the camp tuition. One instructor cost me $4,000, okay, and I fired him immediately. I got rid of him. I said, I'm sorry, even though you've been with me since you're 6 years old, you were irresponsible. You know, you put my business in jeopardy, okay, and I'm sorry. And then he asked me if I would write him a recommendation. I said, absolutely not. I said, I'm sorry. I said, but no. I said, and that was it. So those are two horror stories from summer camp that I think you should be aware of. Remember this, you are only one mistake away from losing your business. Tell these stories to your staff and hold them accountable. Okay, let's go into takeaway number 2, summer camp flowchart and marketing plan. All right, so this is something that if you haven't really got onto yet, I'm sure that when you're done this webinar, you can get on it immediately. So remember this, keep it simple, stupid. We all know the KISS principle. It's obviously very important when it comes to running martial arts schools. You don't need to go and be some high-tech advanced things when it comes to running your school. Keep it simple. So this here is a really simple flow chart that I made, okay, and I broke this down for you when it comes to doing your marketing. So summer camp marketing, you have it broken down into a couple different categories, and it's going to come down to web and email, like internet, social media, all that stuff. Internally, what are you doing internally? What are you doing externally? And then day-to-day. Okay, so let's start with the web and email first. The first question is, who is going to do what? Okay, so the tasks are setting up your website, email drip system for to promote summer camp, social video, okay, social media obviously, and then have you making YouTube videos. What others say, poll daddy, links, etc. So if these are the tasks that you're doing to promote your summer camp, who's doing them? What are the deadlines? Okay, and making a flow chart for them to follow. So the only thing you'd be different underneath here, I would do, and I didn't do this for you, I would divide this in half, have the tasks, and have the who right here. And then same thing for internal marketing. Sign up board, questionnaire, talk to parents, giveaways, relationship selling. Now let's touch on that for 1 second, relationship selling. When it comes to getting people signed up for summer camp, the biggest mistake that I've seen, and I continue to see in my schools, is the announcements. Just thinking that making announcements about summer camp is going to get people for summer camp. Back in the day when we had a really huge school and we had so many amazing instructors teaching there, a full staff, we'd have contests to see who can get the most people. And the way you get the most people is by individually talking to them, not by sending emails, not by having them fill out questionnaires, follow up, talking about getting them to come. And that's what you must do. So that is the most successful way that you will ever get people to come to your summer camp. Not by doing email blasts, questionnaires, telling parents, whatever. You have to go and talk to them about what camps are best for them and show them that you care. Remember, no one will buy until they know that you care. So keep that in mind. All right, so that's important for you to understand as well. The next thing for the who, for external, CAC buildings, rec centers. What I'm talking about there when it comes to CAC buildings and rec centers, everybody has rec centers and CAC buildings, community activity centers, where you actually can promote your summer camps. They're looking to promote events, and sometimes they might want to split, or sometimes you might need to offer them some type of commission. Print advertising, direct mail, using QR codes on those. If you are doing external marketing where you're doing something like that, make sure you're using a QR code hooked up to a landing page to see if those methods are even working. All right, so those are some things you want to do. Again, who's doing it and what's the deadline? So I'm really big into flow charts now as far as who's doing what. Summer camp, day-to-day. What I mean by here is, when it comes to the marketing for this, why is it marketing? Because that's how you're selling people. Okay, you can't just sell people, we're having summer camp. What are you doing? Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, well, we have a very organized class structure. We have a great lesson plan. We actually have a SWAT team. All right, we have games. We actually have gone over what we'll be eating for the month. We have a safety seminar. We actually go over the safety. So if I'm talking to a parent, I want to start reviewing the safety precautions that we take in consideration. We tell them that no, they don't go outside. Okay, or if you are driving, you might want to tell them the instructor-to-student ratio. Also, we have an emergency prep situation. So if there's a fire in the studio, we actually go over how the children would evacuate the school. Those are the types of things that parents will want to know if you're trying to talk to them about getting their children to come to summer camp. So keep those things in mind. All right, so daily flow charts. So besides the marketing flow chart, when you're trying to get it ready, what you want to do is have a daily breakdown, hour for hour, minute for minute, for staff members to follow. So this is like a sample, and I have this in the library that you could use. All right, and it's broken down day by day, Monday to Friday. That's a summer camp. If you notice here, 10 to 3 or 10 to 4, whatever you're doing, that's what you want to offer. Anything before 10 a.m. or after 4 should be considered late drop-off or early pickup. So if you have a summer camp, don't start it at 8 in the morning. Okay, 10 to 3, 10 to 4 max, and anything before or after, charge a minimum $8 per hour. So this flow chart is something that you should be giving to your staff. Explain to them, all right, from 10 to 11 we're doing this. From 11 to 12 we're doing that. From 12 to 1 we're doing this. From 1 to 2, from 3 to 4, etc., etc. This is what you must have in order to run effective summer camps. Okay, so a daily breakdown, okay, and of who's doing what, all right, and this is something you want to make sure you're using immediately for this year. So insert activities and zone options. Okay, this is not like what I'm teaching. This is more about actually who's doing what. Okay, so this is not about what I'm teaching. It's more of a daily breakdown, hour for hour, about what I'm doing. Okay, when I'm talking about zone options, all right, one of the things you want to do, and the kids love the most, is having different zones. So we offer 2 zones per hour. Okay, so at 10 o'clock, we all do a warm-up. And then at 11 o'clock, I'd have 2 different zones. One would be a reading zone, okay, another one could be a Muay Thai zone. All right, so the reading zone could be like a leadership exercise handout, okay, that we give to the students. Some of them could do that, and other ones could do the Muay Thai. They could do Muay Thai training. All right, so those are different options that you could use. And the zones, I have to give a shout out to John Cassidy. I got that from him, some great ideas. All right, so Sensei Nick tip. Obsessive planning prevents poor performance, okay? So you see what I'm talking about here. If you want to have a successful summer camp, it's all going to come down to your planning. It's not going to be about just, just promoting it and selling it. It's got to be structured. It's got to be organized. You have to have really good handouts, and that's how you're going to make it effective. All right, moving on. Okay, takeaway number 3, summer camp itinerary. So everyone's got different styles of what they do, all right? And if you don't have an outline for your staff to follow, all right, it's going to be a disaster. So even if you're making these zones, okay, or if you're whatever you're telling them what to do from hour to hour, if you don't break down exactly what we want them to do for the warm up, I can tell you that you're going to run into challenges because they won't be watching. All right, I can guarantee you they'll be on their cell phones. All right, so keep all these things in mind. This is a sample of our summer camp itinerary. It's in the actual library. All right, so this breaks down hour for hour what we're doing. All right, and we're adding some different things for our zones for our schools as well. But this is like a sample breakdown from 10 to 11, 11 to 12. All right, sparring drills if we're doing that, and there's some ideas for them to do. We do lunch from 12 to 12:45. We don't give lunch. We only give lunch on Fridays, and we usually do like a pizza party. So Monday through Thursday, there is no lunch. Okay, we make them bring their own lunch. And then after lunch, we do like Sensei Says or a basic game that will help them digest their food. And then here you see from 1 to 1:45. 1:45 we give them another break. 2 to 2:45 they have weapons training and what to do. All right. 2:45 to 3 we have team dodgeball. And then when the camp's over, this is what we do as well. On Fridays sometimes we do barbecues. We do like a chicken barbecue, and that works out well for the children as well. So that is your summer camp itinerary. The Sensei Nick tip for this: ask your head instructor to make the itinerary. Okay. So don't just wait till the week of. And Shihan Baka, okay, you're gonna hear a lot about him. He's one of our board of advisors. One thing he does with lesson planning, you're gonna see soon, is that the lesson plan has to be in the prior Friday to the next week. And I would suggest the same model when it comes to making your summer camper itinerary. All right, so what I would do is you'd say, like, I want to see the summer camp itinerary for next week. And if you get it on Friday, then you have 2 days to make sure that it's actually thorough, everything's organized, and the delegation and all the organization is structured and prepared for the next week. So those are some things I keep in mind. Again, ask your head instructor to make the itinerary. So the last part of what I'm going to go over is the summer camp secrets. So we did a summer camp webinar before, and this one is more to explain to you some really simple things that are going to make the biggest difference in your bottom line. And that's the biggest thing that I can explain to anybody. The smallest things make the biggest difference. So I'm going to finish with a couple summer camp secrets that I think that'll really go a long way for you. And then at the end, I'm going to bring in, I'm going to take some questions, and then we have Sensei Brooklyn. All right, Sensei Brooklyn will be coming in and showing you guys a little bit about our library and some specials we have at the end of the month. So let's go over the secrets. Okay, first, these are our summer camp secrets. If you are not relentless in promoting the camp, you will have 5 kids and want to change jobs. Okay, so what I'm saying here is this: if you just make announcements and you're not relationship selling, all right, you're going to be in the camp, or someone else is going to be doing the camp. They're going to have 5 kids from 10 to 3. I've done that before in some camps, and I've wanted to basically, I can't even say it. You know, I basically just thought about changing my career, right? Because if I sit there with 3 or 4 kids doing summer camp, all right, and if you think that one of your instructors will want to do this, you're dead wrong. They will be bored out of their mind working with 3 to 4 kids. Imagine for like all day, it's like 3 or 4 kids. It's a lot harder, okay, and it's boring for the kids as well. So when you're promoting your summer camp, you need to be relentless. I would never even do a summer camp unless I had 10 kids. Seriously. So that's the secret. If you're not relentless in getting them and putting pressure on your staff and yourself to get them, you know, you end up with 5 kids, it's going to be really tough for you. Number 2, the number 2 secret: if you have junior black belts running the camp, it's only a matter of time until a disaster happens. Okay, so this is if you have kids running your camp. And I know from talking to school owners, it's, you know, I see it all the time. You know, like, oh, we don't have staff. We have junior black belts teaching in our classes. We don't pay anybody. You know, God bless you. And all I could say is, do you know anywhere else in the world where that actually works, or is actually even going on? Have you ever gone on to Best Buy or any type of store and you see people that are just helping out young kids? No, the answer is no, you haven't. And that's why that it is a recipe for disaster and destruction. So although you're trying to save money, okay, what we do is we have a little bit different method. We tell our instructors that we're trying to train that there's a summer training program, and if they make it through that, okay, then the next year they have the potential to become a part-time instructor. That's how we get them, all right, to help out and assist. And we don't have them helping out every single day, every single hour, because then they get burned out. So if you have junior black belts running camps, okay, the disasters I've already covered. Okay, you know, they're not paying, and then if there's an issue with a staff member or there's an issue, you'll be the one that'll be sued. They can't sue free help, so they'll sue you. So that's you know, and God forbid that there's any type of, you know, really bad something going on with a helper, that'll be look really poorly on you when you have to explain to your parents, listen, I'm sorry that this happened. I wasn't responsible. You know, he doesn't even work here. What do you mean he doesn't even work here? Well, we don't pay him. So some kid, you know, was touching my son, okay, or my daughter, and he doesn't even work here. What kind of operation are you running? You will close down, because that will spread. You want to talk about going viral and increasing your social reach? Just do something. Just have that, and you'll be out of business in no time. Okay, so not trying to scare you. I'm just telling you the reality. Number 3, if you do not focus on relationship selling, you will not have the camp numbers you're looking for. Okay, so if all you're doing is, and I've seen this before, my instructors, they would just make announcements in class, all right, and they'd send out an email campaign. So basically, that's like saying they really don't care. Instead of like going up to them, talking to them, hey, are you coming to summer camp first? And if you want to take a step back before we even go there, before you even asking about summer camp, what I want to do first is I want to like get the information first before I even know before I try to sell them. Because there's nothing worse than sitting down with someone and not knowing the information, and then they know that all you're trying to do is get them to come to summer camp. So instead of sitting down with someone and saying, hey, listen, are you coming to summer camp? No. Sit down with them and say, hey, what's going on? How you been? I'm doing pretty good. Cool. How are you enjoying classes so far? Well, you know what? My son's kind of bored. We're actually looking at another school. Okay, well, see, that's what I'm talking about. So get that information first before you try to get them to go to summer camp. Secret number 4, there must be an adult that is overseeing the entire operation at all times. Okay? So if you think that you're going to run summer camps and go home, I got news for you. That's a really bad idea. Okay? And I've seen bad things happen to school owners, so make sure you don't do that. Never leave one instructor alone at the school. As you could tell, I'm super paranoid, and I really worry about that a lot. So make sure that you're not doing that, because you're just asking for trouble. Okay? All right, so Sensei Nick tip, if I scared you, I did my job. That is my tip for everything I just talked about in that section. If I scared you, I did my job. Okay, now before we go to Champions Way Training Day, if you want to check out what I have on my website, let me show you real quick. I made something really simple on my website right here, Summer Camp Savings, 20% off. And if you click that, I connected it to Poll Daddy. It's a free application. And here's my summer camp survey. And I have a lot of other content in the library. We have actually a survey you can hand out. We have all of our documents. We have ads and everything. But please fill out your name below so they put their name. Please leave the best number to call. Which camp or camps are you interested in attending? These are all the different camps. Are you interested in receiving a 20% off? That's all I want from them. All right, so I'm trying to give them, want their name, their number, and then are they interested? And then from there, basically at the bottom, are they interested in 20% off? Because most people obviously will click yes, and you can use this in Poll Daddy. That's what I recommend using. You could take this link, you could email it, you could put it on Facebook. Let's just take a look at that real quick. I've already done that several times, but if you go to Facebook, watch how easy this is. Just put in here at the bottom, this is my Facebook page. Cool, nice. And let's just put a link in here. Summer Camp Savings. And that's it. Paste it, just goes right there. That's it. And I'm going to try, if there's any other questions after that, I will come back on. First one, Sensei, or second? Oh, you got them right?
All right, what a great presentation. I know that at our school we follow these guidelines and our summer camps are always packed and always have positive energy just going right through the roof. Everybody put your hands up and give a nice little golf clap for Sensei Nick. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about the specials that we have going on right now and the different things that you guys can look at, jumping on board and taking advantage of. The summer camp stuff that you just finished watching with Sensei Nick, as well as all of the webinars that go on, are all going to go into the library. Now, some of you might know what the library is. A bunch of you might be members of the library already, and some of you might have never heard of the library before. But what I'm going to do is really quickly go over a little bit of a couple of my favorite things that are included in this library program and what you get advantage of. All right, so the library really comes in three main sections. It's an online program where myself and Sensei Nick and Sensei John, and we compiled probably about 40 years of martial arts experience and knowledge into an online program that allows you and your staff to just be up to date with what's going on. Now, my favorite part of the library is the Learning Center. The Learning Center consists of month-to-month marketing plans, staff development courses, sales tips, renewal tips, retention tips, all those types of things. So as you can see right here, these are all the different categories within the library Learning Center that you can take advantage of. Every single month, typically 10 days to 2 weeks out before the month's end, we will provide you with a complete A to Z month-to-month marketing plan for the next month. Attached to that will be, of course, your ad slicks and ad templates that you guys can use and customize with your own information, sales techniques and whatnot, so you can know how to become better at sales. Building your team so that you can get everybody in your team and in your school on the same page of knowing what's going on, so you as the owner can take the time that you would normally spend on this stuff and apply it in other areas, because we're all very good at being busy. But are we being busy with the right things that will allow us to improve ourselves and take ourselves and our business to the next level? There's a big difference between working harder and working smarter. Now, as you go down, you'll see that there's a webinar section inside the library that you guys can go to or send your staff to, with over 100 and growing business and product webinars. Remember, knowledge is power, guys. Coming down here with webinars on birthday parties and cancellation webinars, classroom management, how to overcome objections, these types of things. Then we go over to the Virtual Training Center. Inside the Virtual Training Center, we work exclusively with a handful of great, phenomenal martial artists out there. Some are phenomenal martial artists, others are phenomenal at martial arts business. But we come together to provide you guys with video curriculum and video tips on how to take your business to the next level. As you can see, we have a lot of interesting people that we work with, including the CEO of this company, Master Fareed Dordar, who has a $1 million school. And then, of course, we have people like Crew Ace Ramirez, who just did a phenomenal webinar the other day on 5 things instructors need to know. And then, of course, we have, for the BJJ guys, none other than Professor Robert Drysdale himself. What they do is they provide us video content in 13 categories for you and your staff to review. And then those 13 categories are broken up into drills and techniques. So maybe your assistant instructors don't have the knowledge or understanding that you guys do, but they can go in here and watch these videos and get caught up and educate themselves on how to run exciting, professional warm-ups and so on and so forth. Now, coming back down through the Learning Center, you will also see the Building Your Team section. This is something that no matter if you have 50 students in your school or whether you have 500 students in your school, this is an important section for you. Why? Well, if you have 50 students in your school, chances are you're a one-man show. I've been there. I know what you guys are going through on a daily basis. So what's nice is to be able to come in and say, okay, if I'm going to be the program director today, what do I need to do? If I'm going to be the front desk administrator today, what do I need to do? So what you can do is come in here and see, for example, front desk admin, instructor, program director, manager, school owner, and then as you dive deeper into each section, you'll notice things like front desk administrator job description, daily duties, admin duties, reports that they have to provide you with on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And then, of course, different things on how to manage different family members or interact with students and parents and so on and so forth. And at the bottom of every category or section, there are business webinars and tools specific to that position that they can watch so they can take their position to the next level and really do their job to the best of their ability, solidifying their spot in your school and, of course, making more money. Now, with every role, there's specific role webinars available, just like I showed you. And when you come down here, here's an example of the job description. I mean, here's a simple thing. A front desk administrator or front desk person must be someone who loves people. Talking, communicating with people in every job is the everyday job of a front desk administrator. These are things that allow you to have guidelines to say, let me do the best that I can do and get the best people for the position in the school doing the best that they can do and giving me the best results. I said best a lot. Front desk administrator reports, administrator duties, okay? There's no reason why your front desk administrator isn't able to do his job because he has all of the tools right in front of him. Now, the thing I love about the library is that every Monday there's a live webinar that you guys, the school owners, can participate in to go over weekly things to do in your school. So you know what is it you need to do to take your business to the next level. And it's a live webinar. So that means that you can network with the other school owners that are in that meeting so that you can bounce ideas off them and not make the same mistakes they did and move forward amicably. Now, with that library, there's tons of other things that are available in there. I really just wanted to show you a couple of the main areas that I think will really help you with your school the most. If you're interested in this program or want to learn more about this program, definitely give us a call. Shoot Sensei Nick an email, and he'll have one of us contact you and go over it with you. If you're a library user right now and you're not using it to its full capacity, please give us a call, and we will help you get more involved with it so you can get more out of it. All right. Let's close this out. One more thing that I want to show you guys on this library is an email that I've put together for my library clients. This is just a little teaser of things that I've handpicked out of the library to show you guys some of the power, right? So we got a lot of videos in here, ABC non-active, what are they and what are they good for, what should we be doing with them, how to turn C and non-active students into A students, you know, the basics of capturing leads online, making absent calls, all this type of stuff is available for you. We have blogs in there that you can read on how to become a better salesperson in the martial arts school, how to use martial arts and software, and the 3 R's to handle objections. Different featured retention tips are in there as well, absent calls and booster lessons, we miss you cards, and how to use them. Things like the belt in the bag promo that Grandmaster Ed Sharfella out of New York provided to us, which is phenomenal. I have clients all over the place getting 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 students in off this belt and bag promotion. It's phenomenal. And then, different tips on most common mistakes school owners make and how absent calls should be done, and different booster lessons and miss you cards that you can be using to send out automatically through the Perfect Mind system and be on top of the missed students and so on and so forth. Now, as you all know, Sensei Nick is the master and guru of social media. I'm learning all my stuff from him, and I got to tell you, there's a lot to learn. But with our social media optimization, now is the best time to be getting on it because the first quarter is almost over. You have 3 more quarters left to make sure that you get the most out of your marketing and you can finish this year on top with the most amount of profit possible. So with our social media, I'm just going to really quickly gear down and show you what's included with that. And again, at the end of it, if you want more information or want to talk more deeply about it, email Sensei Nick and he'll make sure that someone gets in contact with you. Number one thing, we build you a website. This website is designed for maximum lead generation. Then, because 3 out of 4 people are on a mobile device, we also create and design a mobile website for you so that when people come to your website off their mobile device, it will automatically convert to a mobile website, allowing them to easier give you their information more easily, as well as get information from you more easily. After we do that, we set up about a dozen online social networks for your business: Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, YouTube. These are the main ones, but of course there's a bunch of other ones that you may or may not know of that we know will help get your name. All right, now next we go into the local directories, because you might have all those social networks that are up on the net for, the global awareness and so on and so forth. Everybody's there, we all know it, but also those local directories in your community, getting people more involved with you and just separating you from every other competitor in the area. Once we've done that, we will go back to your Facebook page and we will customize it with a nice, beautiful design. And we connect your Facebook page right to your Perfect Mind, so when people come and like for full access and then put their information in, that information goes in the Perfect Mind automatically, and it triggers an email, not just to go to you and your staff to let you know you have a new lead, but also to them, thanking them for coming to your Facebook page. Now what we do is we don't simply leave it like that. Every quarter we have new promos, back to school, Christmas, New Year's, spring and summer. So what we will do with the social media service is every quarter we will redesign your Facebook page to stay congruent with the specials that we're running at that time. One more thing that we will do is customize 9 landing pages a year for you. Now these are not necessarily the landing pages that you get. These are just some examples of ones that we have built. But what you can do is take some photos, some nice attractive photos, send them over to us, and we will customize landing pages for you that you can send out into the internet for keyword searching. So when someone puts in back to school specials, or maybe birthday parties, or Zumba, or Beachbody boot camps, these are the type of keywords that will prompt a landing page to come, take their information, and put it into the Perfect Mind system for you to follow up and then trigger that email for you. Now, what good is all this if we don't have statistical reports to tell us what's working and what's not, who's there and who's not? So what happens is every quarter when we redesign the Facebook page, we also go into Perfect Mind and set up all your campaigns, all your reports, and all your auto emails. So you don't have to worry about that. We will go in there to do that for you. All you need to worry about is making sure that on a weekly basis you're checking back your reports to find out who's coming in, who's not coming in, and who do we need to call. Now, if you have any kind of cardio programs or kickboxing programs, we can also connect your business with 2 very small companies that you may or may not have heard of, Groupon and Living Social. These are phenomenal companies that you can take advantage of to get a promo or a special out to as many people as possible and fill up that mat. Why choose Champion's Way to handle your social media? Well, we don't have enough time to talk about all the reasons why you should do it, but definitely there's one reason that I can put out right above, which is if you don't, your competition is, and you're going to be left in the dust. Okay? So what do? Well, number one, we design and create a new website towards lead generation. Then we design a mobile site, set up all your social networks, set up your local directories, customize a Facebook page and redesign it every quarter. We post daily to your Facebook page to generate buzz and conversation, create 9 custom landing pages a year, create perfect mind marketing functions with your campaigns, your auto emails, and your reports. And then we set up an email nurturing system where 7 emails will be sent out over 7 weeks to all leads that have not signed up. So those leads that came in, for whatever reason you could not get a hold of them, for whatever reason you couldn't get them through the door, an email nurturing system starts and goes out every week to slowly drip on them and get them into the doors on your mat and signed up as students. Then we connect your business to Groupon and Living Social. It's that simple, guys. You want to take more time and spend it on teaching exciting classes and growing your school and doing the stuff that you love to do? Invest in your business, have the professionals take it over, and focus on what